decisions. These are my 8 decisions. These are my 8 decisions. The decisions for success. These are my 8 decisions.
2025.
2025.
2025. I mean, I think we should be talking about 2025.
All
Because
right.
it's the 19th, 20th? It's the 20th.
Yeah, we got 10 days.
10
11
days left. Are you happy with the 24?
Oof. It was a big year for me. It was kind of a sleeper year. You know, I bought my property this year. So that's been a huge adventure. Moving is such a huge deal, especially when I moved everything. So that was huge. Made a whole bunch of music. My musical collaboration with Lucian has been a big part of this year. Really, and then my relationship. I had a relationship this year.
There's more?
More?
Yeah, you let go of something you were doing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks to you, in part. I let go of business coaching and I wound that down this year. So that's been a huge transition. I became a music producer. Wow, it's really true when you actually look at everything that happened. A lot more happened than I was really realizing until I start looking at it.
Yeah, and this is part of the whole gap and gain concept.
Gap and gain.
And really appreciating all that was done. I mean, you took on a big projects. It's not something small. You were like, you got a piece of property that A, you're going to live on, B, you're going to do business
Create a
in.
Music studio and
yeah,
retreat experience.
Yeah.
I changed my profession. I had took steps forward in my love life.
What sparked this feeling of not wanting to do the coaching anymore?
It was no longer feeling like it was coming from my heart, and maybe was never coming from my heart. Honestly, when I left Kindara, I started coaching as a way to integrate my experience, I think, because it was such a wild ride. Like, I fell in love. I fell in love with this idea. I took all the money I had in the world and put it into the company bank account and went out and raised VC money and was like trying to build $1 billion activist women's health tech company that was going to change the face of how people related to their bodies and their fertility. And then I kind of crashed the plane into the mountain and into a giant explosion. And walking away from that explosion, I was pretty shell shocked. And people started asking me for help, and I started helping them. And that's how my business coaching started. And that turned into Fulcrum. And then it was an accelerator with mentors and advisors, and we're running classes of 25 founders through our program and everything. But it was never, it was an integration for me. It helped me integrate my experience and step into everything that I did learn on my entrepreneurial journey, but it never felt like a true expression of what I'm here to do, to be honest.
Have you transferred your passion of music production as an entrepreneurial adventure, or is it more art for you?
It's more art. I'm in the inquiry of how to live an artful life. That's what it feels like, because so much of what's wrong, and this is an interesting, we'll probably have a good conversation about this. I think a lot of what's wrong with the tech world is people are doing things for money. Like they're trying to do something to get somewhere. And I think that there's a lot of merit and value in trying to solve problems. We need to solve problems. And when we solve problems, we deserve to be compensated for solving those problems. And so it's a fine line to walk between, hey, I'm doing this for the money, or hey, I'm doing this to solve this big problem that I feel passionate needs to be solved. Because I guess from the outside perspective, if you just look at society, the most boring, annoying problems also need to be solved. And if an entrepreneur can come along and say, I'm going to solve this boring, annoying problem for millions of people and make millions of dollars doing it, there's nothing wrong with that. So maybe this is some of my own some of the stuff that I'm trying to work out in my heart is when is it okay to do something just for the money? That's my question for you.
Wow, I don't know. I mean, I think when you do anything, problem solving is just a different way of just getting dopamine hits. When you problem solve, it feels good to like solve a problem. And generally when you get paid to solve problems, it's the form of the dopamine hit, right? If you solve problems, do you still get dopamine hit? Yes. But if you are solving problems without the dopamine hits, then it's no fun.
Yeah.
Example, the decision experience for me is like all this effort that, and I take complete responsibility. I didn't have a functioning business to be able to eat.
That's a funny one because you're delivering value, but you're not getting paid.
Right. And
I
it's
got
like
a lot of value out of that. I made a big change in my life because of that last decision experience.
Yeah.
And I'm sure other people did too, but that's the annoying one. Same with Creator Circle right now. I'm actually providing a lot of value for people, but I'm not monetizing it.
What do we need to monetize? How do you flip this?
First you got to create value, which both of those examples are doing, right? And then you need to capture the value. And I think capturing part of the value, because if we're creating 100 units of value per month and we can capture 10 and our customers get to keep 90, then that's a sustainable business. So we need to capture some of the value that we're creating, which I think is making offers.
Right.
Which is encapsulating the value inside an offer of, hey, this is the value I'm going to give you, and you're going to give me something back. But one thing I've learned about business is just because you're creating value doesn't mean that there's an offer that can convince the customer to give you some of that value.
Yeah. And then your audience, is the audience willing to pay? And the thing that could be frustrating is like, you may not have the right audience in the room that is willing to pay, but they are out there, but they're hidden, right?
Right.
They're hard to find.
Right.
And then you got to go find them. That's the struggle that I had to navigate is, I wanted to attract driven entrepreneurs who really interested in this spiritual consciousness. I kind of like to look at it like I'm asking the universe to help me on my mission. And I want to be around other people that see that too, like integrate my vision into not only others' visions, but purposeful thought and action and like being at peace and really asking the universe to help take me on this journey and being around other aware people that think like me, that I enjoy to be with. They're not asking me what kind of car I have or, trying to bow up to how successful they are. They're looking for way more deeper meaning. And that's exciting.
Yeah.
Also what's exciting is people with big ideas that are going against everything else. And they want to do moonshots. That's exciting.
That's exciting. Kindara felt like a real moonshot because I remember saying in the early days, I want to raise the first $1 million that's been put behind fertility awareness. Fertility awareness is a very fringy, chart your fertility signs on a piece of paper. And it's not taught in medical schools, and there's only 2 or 3 books that have been written about it. And it's like this super fringy thing that very witchy, hippie, generally speaking, women were into. And I got obsessed with it in 2009. And we started doing it, me and Katie, my ex-partner. And then I was like, we're going to take on Pfizer. This little fringy thing that nobody
David
really
versus
cares about is
Goliath.
we're gonna go against Pfizer and raise millions of dollars and create the birth control of the future that is healthy for you, that doesn't have side effects, that women can use to understand their bodies and their partners can use to understand their women. And it felt like a take on,
Yeah.
take on something big and go and do it. And what I learned through that process is, very few people are on that 1% of the bell curve that are willing to do something completely new and different that they don't see their friends doing, that they don't see on TV, that they don't hear their doctor talking about. It's like you and me. You got the biocharger. We're doing breath work. We're cold plunging at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like, we're fringe people. And
we are looking for the 1%.
It's like,
no, it's below that.
It's less than 1%.
It's way less.
Yeah. A tenth of 1%, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to say with my ex, like, we're fringe people, and we have to remember, like, this is one of the big learnings, is that there's not many people at that fringe of the bell curve. And you have to dumb it down. You have to dumb it down. In order to make something mass market, it's got to be way dumbed down.
Yeah.
Way dumbed down. Like,
Yeah. And it I think that you're showing up for me. Like, I'm looking for the 10th of a 1%. And I realized this pretty early in the experience that they aren't here.
Here meaning
in Nashville.
In Nashville.
I mean, they maybe are, but they're busy. They have their own lives. They're like, they're chasing their thing.
Well, if you put Nashville on the bell curve as an average of visionary progressive, it's on the bottom half.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was saying that to Kat. We had breakfast the other day, and a friend of mine, and she was saying that she's starting to feel, because she's been growing in the conscious community, and we've been growing a conscious community here in Nashville. She was saying that she's starting to feel that she could grow this anywhere, because she hasn't really traveled lately. And I was just saying to her, you have no idea what it's like. If you and I, Robert and me, if we go to Austin and we start having these conversations, or we go to Boulder, or we go to San Francisco, it's just totally different environment, because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are into this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas in Nashville, it feels like we're pioneers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And ask 100 people about ecstatic dance.
Right. Zero.
I will tell you, you will get 90 that are like, what?
Yeah.
And a few are like, but
it'd be really interesting to do that in different cities and see.
Well,
because it might just be that there's more people in.
Well, it feels like to me, this is making me think. We have these silent disco headsets.
Uh-huh.
We must go to Centennial Park
on a Sunday.
And we need to build it through having them experience, not talking about it, do it. Like bring these high vibe people that are coming to ecstatic dance every Sunday and literally have them infiltrate and just walk up to people and say, you got to dance with me. Put on the headset and just like it would blow their minds. We got to do this.
We should do this.
We should absolutely do this.
We definitely need to do this. It's funny that we both independently bought silent disco systems.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, yeah. I primarily got it to have here at the lake house because I know my neighbors. I got this really crazy neighbor who anything that's going on over here, she wants to be nosy about it. And so like, all right. Now it'll be even worse because I'll have people screaming for no reason. They have had
dancing. She's gonna be there with the
binoculars looking. But you are right there. Yeah.
Well, the bigger question is: can we make Nashville a hub of consciousness?
Well, I think absolutely. I'll tell you. I was asked to speak at this. this conference here in Nashville called Scaled Up, and it is Nashville African American community of entrepreneurs, and it was a great event. It was so good. The night before, I was invited to this room of 50 entrepreneurs in this room and like 2 white guys. And I was sitting at this table, and there's an attorney talking about that they lack, when I say they, this Black community, they lack community in entrepreneurship. And I just turned it right back at her and I said, it's your responsibility. Like, if you don't feel you have the community here, we can create it. And you create it by inviting people over to events, partnerships with restaurants, you know. And I feel like that's your calling. And that's why you got this community started. Because you're like, wait a minute, where's my tribe?
Where's my people?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're building it.
Yeah.
And it's growing. And I know you're actively looking for a new spot.
Talking about ecstatic dance.
Ecstatic, yeah. And I think and I think it's I think that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to build this community. And is it something that monetizes? Maybe, maybe not, you know. I think what monetizes is the energy I get from the community. That's monetizable. That's something I convert, because every other Sunday, I spend my dance doing 2 things: processing my emotions, letting it out of my body, and then dancing as if I'm in my future self. And that is a spiritual, magical, energetic experience.
That's good.
And it is absolutely a state changer. And just to sell ecstatic dance, I mean, talking about dumping your shit so you can move forward and truly like let stuff go. When you are angry with someone, something, some situation, and you move your body and get that stuff out, dissolve it, and then you move into a higher state of being, man, there is not medicine that I could do that does that. And it also just making your just body feel just like perfect.
Yeah. I'm glad you have that experience.
Yeah. And you brought that to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard about this, and it was a friend that told me.
Yeah, Mark Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
And I met him at yoga. I met him at hot yoga.
Yeah. And it showed it. And I mean, you showed up in a calendar invite.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's another thing that I think
That's genius, a calendar invite. We should calendar invite everybody.
Yeah. And we should be teaching, not you, you should. What? One idea is to educate on Sundays how to invite someone to the experience, how to talk about ecstatic dance. You know, there's been a few times that you guys taught a little bit about the purpose of it. And I think it's important to bring up the purpose every time, because you never know who is going to, oh, that's the why. I just thought it was a bunch of weirdos moving around funny, right? No, there's more to it. And I think if people, it'd be kind of like if I handed you a pill and I said, hey, just take this pill. And you took it and like, well,
yeah, context is everything, right?
Yeah, but if you knew, oh, this is a way for me to let go of emotions that are holding me back, this head trash that keeps popping up, right? I don't need to, I don't need to do this anymore. You know, like one of the first things that I got of a ecstatic dance is I was processing anger at a business partner, and I am finally totally in love with this person in a loving way. Like I learned so much from the whole experience that I can just send out love to this person. because I processed it, and it took me a while. But you know how I was doing it before. It was just like anger. Every day I was like,
yeah, we need to move the body, right?
Yeah.
It's so crucial. Like that's why I started doing ecstatic dance in Nashville, is because if I don't dance for a number of weeks, I just it starts to feel like my blood is made of cement, and it's not good. Like
Yeah.
I start to feel off, really off.
yeah. So I'm having a couple takeaways here.
Yeah.
I think a big takeaway is this community can grow a lot faster if we taught how to grow. And it's the same thing I teach salespeople how to ask for referrals. We need to teach community members the value of really giving this medicine to the community and to lots of people.
Yeah. We're going to do a bring a friend day, where if you bring a friend, you both get in for $15.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Somebody who's never been to ecstatic dance before.
Yeah. I would love to see, man, there is nothing more fun when someone brings their young kids, especially if you can get them to chase you and you can chase them. There's like the running around.
Yeah.
and
They're like screaming and
I don't know, man. It just absolutely takes you back to play.
yeah.
And it's like, why am I not having fun? Like on the regular basis.
Totally.
And gosh, a good tag is a good way to do fun. But I think, we can grow ecstatic dance by getting more people to bring more people, encouraging people to bring their business teams, encouraging people to bring their moms.
Dude, we
and
gotta
dads.
Yeah.
Like older
Yeah.
people.
We did have, I think we had like a Father's Day dance one time, and people brought their dads, and that was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new venue, like I'm really calling in, and we're all calling in a new venue that has space to grow, because we've kind of maxed out at Millennium Dance Complex, and we need a place that can host 100 or 150 people to come dance, and that has more of a reverent vibe. It's not just a big cube. The ideal space that I'm envisioning in my mind has a big circular dance floor. The DJ could be in the middle potentially, or at the front, and has some kind of stained glass, like maybe it's an old church, and feels like a temple. Because if we can move into a big temple of dance, that's going to unlock so much.
I am feeling this experience. I'm feeling this,
because then it becomes coherent and consistent with the intention of what we're doing.
Right. And I feel like this is I know right now it's every other Sunday, but I look at this as my church 100%. I look at it as a spiritual activity that I can do, that I can just be with others, and just this every other week. I'm like, yes, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. My life is awesome. My family is awesome. I am awesome. Oh man, that's awesome.
I love that gratitude.
Yeah.
That's all true.
Yes, it is.
What about 2025 for you?
25 for me, I turned 50 last year. I did the decision experience. I had 4 of those. That was a really hard experience. It felt rewarding to do, but it was a lot of push, a lot of effort, a lot of not with ease. I was like, I went into 49. I'm going to be ready to be this new fucking, version of me, Bobby, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, why am I? And at the end of the day, I look at the whole year and I feel like the whole year was a lot of ego.
Huh.
And not really me. And the real me is probably not just, the real me is probably more ease and just at peace. and fun and not trying to go anywhere.
Mm.
And I'm starting to see that. So I'm trying to like integrate 25 is for me is like I am helping companies institute EOS. I'm putting a lot of effort in my software, Call Proof, and I have this new app with AI, and that's fun. Where we're recording this podcast, my studio is finally done, so
Awesome.
it's going to be a lot of this, a lot of talking to people, like just having breath work together. We work out together. We cold plunge. We do all these crazy things. But when the weather's going to turn, I really hope to spend I want to be around a lot of people and just have fun.
Yeah.
And, help
Integrate.
people. Yeah. Integrate and help people with crafting a vision for their lives as I'm doing it. I am getting, this whole concept of creating your vision is something that I have not let go of. I'm not letting go of. But I realized that it's a big, beautiful piece of art. It takes a moment to get all the colors right.
Mhm.
I have the outline, but now I got to add colors and warmth and depth and shadows. And like, there's nuances that I'm like, so I'm not racing.
Yeah. I like that for you.
Yeah.
It reminds me of an artist that's you have an idea for a painting and you start off by making a bunch of sketches. You kind of throw those away, and then you're like refining the vision of what it's going to be before you actually know how to get the masterpiece to come out.
And for me, it's leaning more into music and being more like, I've filled up my calendar with a lot of Zooms and sales things. And like, man, I need to dedicate like learning the craft again. Whether it's playing an instrument or, learning how to pull things together with, I got this little loop machine that I'm going to practice with breath work. And I'm excited about that. So, but I'm also looking at it like this is going to be, I'm going to have fun. It doesn't have to be a business.
Yeah.
It can be fun. And I need to dedicate some time to fun.
Yeah. What comes up for me in this conversation is we can have an idea of what we want to create and try and impose it on the world. But if the world doesn't want that in that form, the world might actually want what we're trying to deliver, but the form that we're trying to deliver it in might not fit like into the puzzle piece of what people think they want. And so then I think then it can feel like pushing shit uphill with a stick. Like it's just, there's not product market fit there. There's not resonance with the offer where people are like, yes, I want that. I'm willing to pay money for that. I'm doing that. And
well, the funny thing is we live in a world right now where the audience is out there. And essentially, how many people do you need to have an audience? You got to have 10.
Yeah.
They're across the world. There's someone going to resonate, to say that, I would make something that I would want. I am not that unique that I'm the only one would want what I want.
Right. Solving your own problem.
Yeah. So
maybe it's just that the offer of the decision experience hasn't been seen by the right people, or the offer is not crafted. Like I feel the same way with various business things that I've been involved with. Is Kindara. We tried 5 different offers until we got the one that people were willing to pay money for. And it was so frustrating. That took like 3.5 years trying this thing. We put all these energy and resources into making, a paid version of the app. Nobody cared. Kindara Care, where you can connect with a fertility counselor. Nobody cared. We're going to sell products through the app that support your fertility journey. Nobody cared. Then we made the hardware, and we made a video of the thermometer that we made, and then people cared finally, and they started ordering it. And then we're like, okay, now we found a way for people to give us money for the value that we've already been providing them for years. So I think there's like the one way of doing business where I'm just going to find what problem people have and solve it. And then I'm going to have product market fit, or I'm going to take what's in my soul, the gift that I want to give, and try and package it in a way that it solves people's problems in a way that they want them solved. And that's a weird alchemical artistic process, because it's hard. It can be hard to find the intersection of what do I have to offer? What do I want to give? What's my gift that was given to me by God that I now want to give out to others? How do I package that so that people buy it, essentially?
Right. And a lot of it's just being patient and then like putting it out there and then waiting and then putting it out there. I have a feeling that knowing what you know about you now, you'll be more attuned to what it is that people want. You know, because I think you're more connected to who you are today versus where you were when you started it before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's interesting with Creator Circle. I'm attuning right now to what do I want? How do I want to solve my own problem? I actually came up with the idea when I was here. I remembered after that night that we spent together. All of us. Yeah. So how do I like solving my own problem. It's fun to solve my own problem because then I know that the problem is real. I know what a nice solution feels like. And then I'm hoping that other people will also have that same problem and want it solved.
Here we are, just a couple dudes just trying to solve problems. That's all we do. Like, we were literally born to solve problems. What problems are you solving? Oh, I'm solving this problem. Okay, good. Keep solving that problem.
Yeah, that's pretty much every business conference, right? Ever.
Yeah, I know.
What problem are you solving? I'm solving this problem. Cool.
What if we woke up one morning and we're like, let's try our best and not solve one
Not
problem.
solve anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to use the bathroom? Oh, no, it sounds like a problem. All right, dude. Thanks for sitting down here.
Yeah, thank you.